Hi, welcome back. All right, in this segment, what we want to do is talk about how much life insurance should you buy? What is an appropriate amount? Now notice I said, what is an appropriate amount? There is no exact amount. There's just too many variables involved to compute it exactly. So what we want to do is get close to an appropriate amount. And there's a lot of different ways you can figure that out. You can buy software and do a lot of different calculations. I always look for a clean, simple way, and that way is the capitalization of earnings. What I mean by that is, let's take an example. Let's say you need $5,000 a month to live your lifestyle. Well, what lump sum of money would you need to produce that $5,000 a month? Obviously, it depends on what rate of interest you think you could earn on that lump sum of money. For example, if you thought you could earn 4%, you would need $1.5 million. $1.5 million times 4% equals $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month. All right? If you said, well, gee, I could do 5%, well, then you only need $1.25 million. If you could do 6, you'd only need $1 million. So I know what you're thinking. You're saying, okay, great, I can earn 10%. Now I only need $600,000. Let's not forget what I said at the first video, is that the reason you're buying this is because you love someone, something, or some cause. So you're not going to want to skimp. You want to be as realistically possible with that interest rate as you can. And if you make a mistake, in my opinion, it's better to err on the conservative side rather than on the aggressive side. Now, one of the negatives I've heard about that method is that it provides for an unlimited stream of income. Well, that's true. You're not touching the principal. All you're using is the earnings. But my question is, what's the alternative? If you say, well, I'll buy it and I'll fund it over my spouse's life expectancy. Well, you could do that, and it certainly would produce a lower number. The problem is what if the spouse lives past life expectancy? 5 years, 10 years. Again, you're buying it for love. Let's not be short-sighted. Another negative comment I've heard about that method is it doesn't take into account Social Security. Now, let's be honest. Social Security is not going to be the answer to it, and with all the pressure on the system, the one thing that could get cut first before retiree benefits is survivor benefits. So that's another thing to consider. Now, on the other side, the one thing that doesn't contemplate is inflation. So if you're saying, I need $5,000 a month to provide for my family if I'm not here, well, that's in today's dollars. What are those dollars going to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Again, the younger you are, the more important the inflation factor becomes. So, yeah, it could be overstating on one end, but I think with the other end, it's still a pretty good method to determine the amount of insurance. Another method, there's an industry, actually, that's sprung up that computes human life value. Economists will do it in wrongful death suits. They'll get called into court to testify. Some drunk driver killed somebody, and they're suing, and they're going to try and figure out how much this guy was worth over his lifetime. And these economists will use different factors like level of education, current income, all kinds of things, and they'll come up with a number on this is what the award should be, and before treble damages. And those things are called human life value. If you Google that, you'll find different firms that use that. I think it's pretty good. It's going to come up with something at least as large as the capitalization of earnings method, and the software is not real cheap. So at any rate, I think that what we can take away from this video is that when you're calculating life insurance, I think you want to make sure that you're going to calculate it in a very conservative manner. Now, don't be spooked that conservative manner is probably going to produce a number that's bigger than you thought. That's just life. That's just the way it is. So that'll wrap up this video on how much life insurance you should buy. In the next one, we're going to talk about the different types of life insurance that are available. See you then.